Let's focus on another set. KEI Industries reported a mixed set of numbers. Cables and wires, they led the growth. Solid one out there, but margins contracted a little bit. What's the way ahead? We're joined by Mr. Anil Gupta, the Chairman and Managing Director of the company. Hi, Mr. Gupta. Good morning. Let's address both these two aspects. First, your cables and wires business. If I take a look at your revenue growth, though the composition is very different from Havells, well, you seem to have done relatively better. So the first part is, have you gained market share, and what is the volume growth you'll be looking at in this segment? Point number one. And the second point is on the margins. Raw material costs have been fluctuating, and that's what's put pressure. Do you believe in quarter four onwards you get to that 11% odd margin that we were talking about earlier?
Thank you very much for inviting me to your show. Good morning. We have grown, in our wire and cable business by around 18 to 19% in turnover. Actually, it is 20%, but in volume around 17% we have grown. And so far as margin is concerned, a lot of fluctuations in the dollar and LME, both aluminium and copper, which led to little bit of contraction in the margin by 0.5%. But I'm sure that it will normalize in the full year. In the next quarter, when we see the 12-month results, it will be near to the target what we had projected in the beginning of this year. And in the volumes also, we will try to maintain our growth sequentially in the same manner.
All right, Mr. Gupta, a couple of questions then on this aspect. The way you calculate and, some on the street calculate is a little different. So I just wanted to confirm, quarter four margin improvement will be to the tune of around 50 basis points to 100 basis points in comparison to quarter three. Should that be the understanding?
I expect the improvement by 0.5% in the quarter four.
50 basis points. We'll hold you at that. What about on the market share front, sir? As you've said, you've grown at around 17%. What is driving this volume growth? It's the positive part of your number, so I ask you this. And have you gained market share? It appears so.
I don't know whether we have gained market share, but we have grown by focusing on current favorite projects like solar, like infrastructure, power transmission and distribution, and as well as exports. Truly speaking, in our wires and cables, we have increased our export by around 20%. The number looks little different because our EPC export sales, which was more than 150 crore last year due to our Gambia project, is almost zero this year because that project is nearing completion. So, but wire and cable business has grown substantially.
Mr. Gupta, hi, good morning, sir. So let's talk about volume projections for both for FY25 and also going forward, because you're undertaking major Capex in Sanand, and I think you've also taken some more land in Gujarat. So take us through the expectations for FY25. What will be the total volume growth in your wire and cables business? And as some of these expansions come on stream, what should we expect in FY26?
We have maintained a guidance of around 16 to 17% in the volumes, and consequently the value increase will be related to the prices of raw materials. And we expect to maintain the same volume growth in the next financial year, what we are maintaining this year, because our Sanand project production of first phase should be coming by end of June. Okay. So the results will be visible only from second quarter. That too for the around 35 to 40% of the project.
But sir, you're saying 17% volume growth for FY25. Now with Sanand coming on stream, the first phase, again you're saying FY26 volume growth will also be around 17%. Should it not be higher because you're putting more capacity to work?
It may be higher, but I don't want to comment, too bullish at this moment, because projects always ramp up gradually. You can't expect that on the first day of production, we will achieve 90% of its capacity.
No, I was saying year as a whole, sir. FY26, the ramp up will happen over the entire course of the next financial year. So that's why I was asking, not for Q1 or something like that. Generally, FY26, what should volume growth be? Because overall Capex will be coming on stream.
We expect a sales of 1,000 to 1,500 crore from Sanand next financial year in the remaining period of 9 months, because the production ramp up takes time. We need to take factory specific approvals from the customers, audits, etc. So that's why we are a little slow on giving the guidance from Sanand on a big volume. But FY27 will be very strong.
FY27 will be very strong. Mr. Gupta, good morning. Prashant here, and good to see you, sir. Now, in a couple of weeks, we'll have the union budget. There have been two problems last couple of years. Last year, maybe because of elections or whatever. Spending has been low in terms of what has been allocated. And allocation itself came off quite sharply. If you look at I'm talking about towards infrastructure sectors. After many years, a very strong allocation. How critical is state spending? Generally, it looks pretty robust out there. If you look at power transmission bids and other segments that you're involved in. But how critical is the government pushing the pedal in terms of allocations when the budget is presented this time?
I think the infrastructure spending is always very critical for our industry, because most of our product goes into the infra project, energy sector, and in renewable, where a lot of growth is coming up. But I think transmission lines, evacuation of power through the transmission lines is important, which is normally coming up now through the tariff-based competitive bidding. So we expect that this national transmission plan, electricity plan, which will bring some good investments in transmission sector also next year. And in whole energy segment, power generation, transmission, distribution, and the power consumption sectors like industry, infrastructure, and real estate, they will bring bullish trend in the wire and cable demand.
Okay. All right. Very quickly, sir, before we let you go, the EHV part of your business over there, because of slow clearances, I think that's what was the big drag, and that's why there was a sharp degrowth in the past quarter. Have things stabilized?
Yeah, it is improving, and we expect a good numbers in this quarter. But we have utilized that capacity for our HT cable production, and you can see that in HT cable segment we have grown by 49%.
Got it.
All right, we'll leave it there, Mr. Gupta. We'll look forward to our next chat. Thank you very much for joining us and running us through some of that sort of commentary. So just under 4,000 rupees is where KEI is now trading at. It's been one of the huge, big wealth creators, 10x in the last 5 years for KEI. We'll take a